you know what, even though I have uncertainty, even though there is fear and doubt that creeps in, I don't want to get to the end of my life and wonder what if I would have taken that step of faith.
This podcast encourages and empowers you to create your own unique real story, develop your own unique real statement, and discover your own unique real self. The power is yours. Good afternoon, Chris McClure. Previously, episode 468 of the 12-minute convos, which was just about 2 years, 8 months, 16 hours, and 30 minutes ago.
I think that personal growth, investing in yourself, and then finding people that are willing to spend time and invest in you, those are two things that are going to help you just continue to go farther, faster in your life and in your career.
That was then. This is now. Chris, how are you doing?
I am doing awesome, man. How are you?
I am excellent. Are you in the same place we spoke the first time 2 years ago?
I'm in the same room, I think. Yeah.
Oh, that's excellent. Wow. Much hasn't changed, hasn't it? Or has it?
A lot has changed, but not location right now.
All right. Well, do tell us what has changed.
Yeah. So when we talked 2 years ago, I was in the middle of kind of beginning my business journey, kind of getting my leadership coaching and training business off and running, and still trying to find my way. We talked a lot about a lot of things, but I've really gotten a lot of clarity over the last couple of years. And actually, I just sent off my first book manuscript
Sweet.
yesterday to get designed for the interior designing, and I will be launching on September 6th my new book.
Well, congratulations. What's the name of the book?
So the book is called The Way to Greatness, the 5 Continual Choices That Lead to the Great Life.
Sounds like something John Maxwell would say. Yes, Chris. Well done.
Yeah, he probably would. This is probably right up his alley.
Now, he has been a tremendous influence in your life. How's that been going?
Yeah, that's been excellent. So I'm still part of the John Maxwell team. I, use a lot of John's resources to, coach my clients and do training workshops as well. I'm getting ready to also write my own book on leadership, which has been inspired by John as well, with a lot of what he has taught me over the years. But that's my next project, is writing that second book.
You walked away from being a pastor. Well, I'm not sure if you could ever walk away from being a pastor, but you put that hat down for a bit, right? To help business people.
I did, yes. Actually, and I'd gone back to doing my pastoral work for a little bit because our church was needing some help and a gap. And I ended up back full time for a while doing that while I was also building my business. Since the last time we talked, I've kind of been out and back in. And now actually on May 23rd of 2019 was my last day again. And so now I'm back full time into my executive coaching, leadership training business, still being an active part of our church and preaching with our team occasionally and just helping with leadership.
It's good advice, though, for those that are listening. Sometimes individuals get into entrepreneurship and the passion that drives them is to do the thing they're doing full time. But I think it really needs a checkpoint, and going back to the thing you were doing helps tremendously. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, it does. I really had a vision, and I still had that vision for sure. But I realized along the way that it takes longer than I wanted or expected to get off and running. But God really opened some doors at the end of 2018 that led me to make the decision at the beginning of 2019 to step away full time again from the church ministry that I was doing, because I really have the opportunity now to work with a lot of business owners and corporate executives, helping them really just work through their challenges and helping them achieve their goals so they can really experience the life that I believe God wants them to live.
Yeah, I think it can be like fishing. Like you're fishing, like there are times, like you don't just keep the boat out in the sea. Like there are times, or the lake, like sometimes you need to go get back, get fuel or get more bait and go again. And I think eventually you catch the rhythm or the timing of the environment that you're in, and that's really necessary. Especially the cash flow really helps determine quality of life.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think a lot of it is, for me, and my background was 20 years in church ministry. And so I was great on the people side, but the business building side, trying to learn the new market I was stepping into, understanding the needs of the people and how I could best serve them, what I was gifted to serve them in. What I've been telling people has just been a refining process.
Mm.
And since that time, over the last couple of years, I really believe that a lot of my limiting beliefs have gone away. A lot of my skill set has risen to the top of how I can best serve people. And so it's open doors. The more clear I get on things, the more opportunities I'm getting and am attracting as I talk to people.
Now there's a 12-year-old, probably 12, 10, and 8-year-old somewhere running around in the mix, right?
It wa-
Did I get that correct?
well, almost. So our 12-year-old turned 13 just a month ago, and
Right.
10-year-old is now 11 as of Sunday. So we have 13, 11, and soon to be 9. So they're keeping us definitely busy with their sports and activities and school and all that.
How has it impacted them seeing their father move from one place to next with the choice he's made for his life purpose?
That's been interesting. It's something that they've just kind of rolled with because we're so active at our church still, and I'm still involved as a leader, but not fully stepping away. A lot hasn't changed on one hand for them. They actually have more time with me though. As
Mm,
I've stepped into my own business, I mean, one of the things that I have been intentional about and committed to is making sure this isn't just a lifestyle business, but it's a family friendly business. And I know my kids are going to be graduating from high school and moving on into their adult lives in the next 5 to 10 years, respectively. And so I want to maximize that time with them. So my business, there's a lot of things I say no to
mm.
because I want to be around them.
How has it affected your wife?
The beginning of this journey, I think she was trying to get her own bearings. When I told her I really felt like God was leading me to a specific date to step away at the end of May this year, she was in kind of a challenging situation with her career. She's a middle school teacher. And so our local schools were going through some challenges, and her job opportunity or possibilities were kind of up in the air as well. So it was scary. It took her a while to get her mind around that. And so, as people of faith, for us, the conversation had a lot to do with, trusting God through this process. And
Mm.
so, I've seen her grow a lot. I've seen her support elevate, especially in the last few months, as she sees the success that I am having, as people are hiring me and those paychecks are coming in. That resolves a lot of tension, right?
Mm, it definitely does.
But it's been good. I mean, I'm seeing a lot of opportunities for her rise, and some good things have happened for her as well.
My conversation before with G. Brian Benson, the episode before this, we both talk about actually walking into fears.
Mm.
Like I said to him, if I had a superpower, my superpower of choice would be to walk into fears with no fear.
Yeah. Wouldn't we all love that?
Exactly. But truly, you have encountered through your process a ton of content that will be able to help a ton of families
Yeah.
as they transition into various aspects of what it takes to follow your passion.
Hmm. Yeah, I've heard one of my coaches and mentors. He references a quote, and it's slipping my mind who said it right now, but that the most damaging thing in the life of a child is the unlived life of a parent. I
Hmm.
think it was Carl Jung that said that, psychologist. But for me, I really feel like I reached that point that I could continue to do what I was doing for the rest of my life. I mean, nobody was pushing me out. There was no pressure to do something different. But for me, it was truly about a calling. And I had to come to the place of saying, you know what, even though I have uncertainty, even though there is fear and doubt that, creeps in, I don't want to get to the end of my life and wonder what if I would have taken that step of faith. And so for me, it was a journey for sure. And for my family, it's been a journey. And particularly for my wife to get to that place of trusting God alongside of me that this is what our next season looks like. So, but you're right, man. That fear is a challenge. And, just my prayer life has increased over this last couple of years in particular. My clarity, like I said, has really changed a lot. My book has been a huge part of that
Hmm.
because I realized that God finally just gave me a clear message that I need to deliver to the world to help them experience the life that I believe that He wants them to live.
Well, my friend, I want to say thank you for what you're doing, because it is both motivational and inspirational to have the opportunity to call you and check in as your podcast accountability partner to find out that you are doing and you've stuck through to the thing you most desire. It's really, 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 really inspiring. So I'm glad to see and hear this, Chris. Before we close off here, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
The only thing I want to say is, like I said, my book launches on September 6th, 2019. And I'm just super excited to get this message out. It's called The Way to Greatness, the 5 Continual Choices That Lead to the Great Life. And I'm going to be addressing 5 key choices that we need to make. One is to build our God core. It's about faith. The second one is about protecting your relationships. The third one is about renewing your mind. The fourth one is about managing your resources. And the fifth one is about maximizing your time. And so if anybody is struggling with any one of those 5 categories, which I often find, and that's really the reason I believe that I've been called to write this book, is that one of these 5 choices typically hangs us up from the life that God wants us to have. Then I just encourage them to check out this book as it gets launched this fall, because I really believe it's going to help a lot of people take those next steps to live the life that God wants them to live.
Love it. Again, Chris, a pleasure. I treasure. Thank you for being on what is inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones. This podcast is produced by Pod Edits. Visit podedits.com for professional podcast publishing.